people can see that we're here.
Okay.
Hey, everybody.
And let's send.
I will. Oops.
I feel like we're not on yet, but I guess we are. But I know we don't start till noon.
Yes, we just came on and we're using a new platform. So anybody who's just started here, you're just going to hear us ramble for a couple minutes here. Well, we just make sure everything's just quite right.
Exactly. Tickety boo.
Because we couldn't figure out how to do it before. It's looking tickety boo.
Good.
I'm going to try this. Ooh. Does that show up somewhere? Oh, maybe the Facebook one doesn't. So I'll have to maybe look at that on here. Oh, okay. We do have some. I can hear you. That's a good. We're on a win already.
And should we send that?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's an important
I'm just
piece.
dying.
Important piece of the puzzle.
I see a little message just sitting there and it's like, don't send.
I just missed the one important part of sending the message. So we have the chat going on, I think, for people who have registered and anybody who's on our Facebook page. I don't know if it works the same, but I'm going to be monitoring it from my phone. So if you are watching us on Facebook, say hi so I can see how that's going to roll.
That's very interesting.
Oh, Shelly Ann sees us on Facebook. Okay. Did that show up there? No.
Yes, exactly. Sort out your tech before you go. Exactamundos.
You know, and they don't make it super easy. Like we even tried to do a setup pretendo one before.
Yeah.
But of course, if nobody's there, we don't know how that part works.
No.
So we're learning. But we got one more minute and then we'll get rolling.
But this is a very exciting platform because we can show you videos and pictures and things that we're talking about as we go through it. And that's super exciting because sometimes we can't visualize what the heck does she talking about? How do you tell where a horse has a headache, right?
We do a lot of like miming, but it doesn't always mean anything to other people as it does to us.
Absolutely not.
So that's good. But anybody who is on, let us know who you are, where you're from, because we always like to see that piece too.
Yes, absolutely. We love knowing where you're from.
There we go. Okay. Hello, ladies. Hello. We got Petra, Michelle, Laura. April's on. Good stuff. Let's see. How do I tell? Oh, and then it says 8 over there. So yeah, these are two different things that are reporting to me.
Interesting.
Okay.
So we had close to 100 people who said they were joining us today. So this is kind of exciting. Chrissy from Colorado. Hey, we're coming your way.
Yeah, we are.
That's very exciting.
Stacy from Nebraska.
I think it's our Stacia, right?
Yeah.
That's what I believe.
That's what I think.
Yep.
And we call you two different things. If that's you. I call you Stacy. Carrie calls you Stacia. So then we get ourselves confused.
Yeah, we sure do.
But it's on you because some of your emails you signed Stacy and then you registered Stacia. So it's not our fault.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll have to tell us which one you like.
Well, welcome, everyone. We are so excited and we're so glad that you joined us for the Listening to Your Horse Part 2. And we truly do believe that this is going to be an incredible streaming platform that's going to make it much smoother because last time even we had some technology issues with some people couldn't hear us. So hopefully now we've got the right system. So here's fingers crossed.
Yeah. And Stacy says legal name versus what I go by.
Okay.
So we're both right.
Okay. So I'm just going to start calling you Stacy then because you like Stacy.
That's right.
Okay.
We'll go with that. And I love seeing all these other people joining us as well from Iowa.
Potatoes, isn't it?
In York, Maine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Idaho.
No, Idaho. That's right.
No, something different. And Michigan we've got on here too. So very exciting to have you guys all. And I'm wondering, maybe we should start with the video.
This is a great one to begin with because, for us, and we are going to introduce ourselves for those of you who don't know us. Some of you have been following us for a long time, but we're the gals from the Equine Connection. And, our biggest part, we certify people globally around the world in this incredible life-changing course, but it also includes business training. But our whole thing for 19 years now, since 2008, it's always been about the welfare of the horse. So we know they are the integral part to everything that we run in our programs because our programs are all done off mount. So we work with them on the ground only and allow them to literally be a teacher. So for those of you who are joining us, most of you have horses, and you know how much they mean to our hearts and souls and how much they do for us humans. So we created this video for all the horses globally around the world before we start into talking about listening. Are we sure we're understanding how to listen? And are we really listening? You know, it's kind of sometimes like, are we listening to our hubby? Are we listening to our kids?
Are they listening to us?
Yeah, exactamentos.
Horses are.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's play the video and then we'll get into the other pieces here.
I was unsure for a time what my purpose could be and where I would end up. I had a job before, but heard many say I was past my prime. But then I came here. Thank you for bringing me to a place where I come alive and stare into the awestruck face of my humans, for believing that I still have purpose. Yes, some of us have grown old. Some of us aren't able to be the horses we once were. But I know that this is what I'm meant to do. I was meant to teach, to inspire, to create leaders, and to build up those around me, to build my purpose, all while they build theirs. I have lived a full life. I have met and made many friends along the way. I walk into the arena and I am thankful for the opportunity to fulfill my true purpose. To all the humans who believe we all have purpose, and to all the horses that change people's lives, thank you. I have found my purpose. I am an EAL horse.
Okay, that, you know, we've had this video for beyond years, but it's still just takes our breath away and gives us always the shivers. And a lot of our horses that were in this video are no longer with us. And it's just beautiful because these beautiful horses do so much for us.
Still does that little
exactly
when you see them doing what they love doing and what they were so fantastic at.
I'm just so excited to see so many of you, because that tells us you are so wanting to understand and hear your horses at a much deeper level. So Yay to you guys.
Love it. So just to give you a little bit about us, I guess, before we go on here. So my name is Carolyn Charles. I'm the Director of Sales at the Equine Connection, as well as an instructor and facilitator. And one thing I do have to say that has benefited me
and
us in many ways throughout this whole process, and even figuring out how we're going to do this as a business, is the fact that I am an incredible skeptic. Like, unless I see the proof in the pudding, unless there's research, unless there is something to go off of, I generally don't like hop on board with things. So when Carrie had initially asked me to be a part of this with her, now 18 years ago-ish, I was a little bit like, oh, okay, sounds nice. You're working with horses. And I didn't know anything about them. But it was really, truly that I could see a change in people. I could see how the horses interacted with people and how they were speaking, because I wasn't a horse person. It never occurred to me, the old horsemanshipy ways. And then the second part of that is to this, there is a rhythm, there is a rhyme, and there is a structure. And with those pieces, we can automatically guarantee that we're going to have an objectively driven outcome for people. And that's the stuff that I could get behind. So it's not just that our horses do beautiful things for people and they're basically unicorns walking the globe. That's all true. But there is so much structure, proof in the pudding, and research that can go behind these programs and how we understand our horses. That's really what brings it all together for me. And I love doing things like this, because then you guys can get behind a little bit of the research and we can expand and develop more so on how we hear our horses as well.
Especially globally. It's so important. So share this out too. Like, seriously, any horse person, you know, whether you're riding, whether you're competing, whether you're just working with them on the ground, these are great understandings to becoming a better horse person for your horse. Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Fulmick, and I am the founder and master instructor at the Equine Connection. And, you know, it's seriously one of the greatest jobs on this incredible earth, because we get to smell our horses every day, which is really wonderful, but we get to see them in action, literally being allowed to be a horse, but they are the teachers to all of our programs. And it truly is humbling. And it's a privilege to see a human being to make a change right before your very eyes, not because we as certified facilitators are doing that job, but because the horse is. And these humans become so empowered because they're wanting to learn from this living being versus a human just talking to them and telling them all the things they should and shouldn't do, what they need to change, what they need to write down. They got the answers inside, and these horses just are able to just pull them out. But it truly has been an incredible journey. Started this since 2008. And, since then, our certification is ever evolving. Truly. Because the more we learn about horses, and you'll hear today, some of you are going to be, wow, no way. Some of you are going to be, oh my goodness, that's interesting. Some of you are going to say, yeah, I knew that piece, but you'll find something you didn't know before. Because I think no matter how long we're on this earth, there's always going to be things that we're going to discover in more of that knowledge and understanding. These most sentinel, amazing beings that truly do have a purpose in our lives. And that's why it's so beautiful to have your own business in it, because then you can help other people in your community and your area as well, because you're already paying for your horses. Yeah. That's the key. You're already paying all the big bucks and going in debt with them. Why not bring something in so it makes more logical sense so that you can help human beings? Because we are in a disconnected world. And that's why today is going to be so important, because listening is huge to being connected in self, connected to others, and connected with our horses.
I love this. People are never stop learning, and a couple of them. So that's beautiful, because it's so true. And the moment you think you know everything is the moment you're going to start going downhill in your knowledge base, because
seriously,
we can never know everything that there is to know about horses, because the world doesn't even know everything that there is to know about horses yet. So we always have to continue learning. And today isn't about our certification. It's about listening to the horse. But there is one thing I wanted to mention for any of you who are looking at getting started into this type of career, or maybe something like finances has been holding you back. We do have a pay it forward subsidy fund going on right now. And hopefully ongoing. But the closing date for that subsidy fund for this round is June 15th. So if you are interested in it, this can partially subsidize your course fees. And you can check out our website, equineconnection.ca, Equine Connection singular.
Can we put it in?
.ca. I can't type and talk at the same time.
Oh, but I should have the keyboard.
Well, now I'm saying it nice and slow for you guys. Connection.ca. There we go. So it is in the chat there too. Anybody on Facebook, you guys are more than welcome to just click over on our profile and you'll see it there too. But this is a phenomenal way that you can get started in this, have that little bit of financial support, and move forward as well. So you can check it out on our website. There's a big button there that says the pay it forward piece.
And is there, if they just type in apply? No.
If you're on Facebook, I think that'll work, but not on this.
Okay. So again, for those of you on Facebook, you can just type in apply, and then I think a link gets sent or something to you.
Yeah, you get a bunch.
I'm not technology. I'm horses and business. She's technology.
I love this. And we got Phoebe and Shelly, and we got Petra. Petra, you're all over the place. Sarah's on too on Facebook. So
excellent.
So good to see you guys.
Okay, let's do this. Yes.
Listening. And you think about it as people. How do we know when other people are listening to us?
Yes.
You think the eye contact is good and that kind of stuff, but we've all had the conversations before where that's been there and nothing went through.
That's right. Fishing and the old brainscape.
But it's not just words that we take into account when we are trying to listen to someone. It's their body language, it's their tone, it's their mannerisms, and all those other pieces with it. And even the situation that you're in, to truly listen. Now, our horses, they bring that to us in a completely different way because they are always listening. They have to for mere survival alone.
Always, because the number one thing a horse needs to feel is safe. Mm-hmm. So they know our body language before because we've got so much thought and so much things going on in our head. We disconnect from ourselves so many times because we're thinking of future, we're thinking of past, we're not present, we're thinking of supper, the groceries, the bills, all of those things that we need to be thinking of. And then we leave ourselves. So our horses are seeing immediately through the listening if we're there or if we have left seriously the premises, which is our brain.
And there's been so many studies done on the ways that horses hear us, but it really is a response to our stimulus. So they're not mind readers or anything along those lines, and they aren't mirroring what we're putting out there, meaning that if we're sad, it doesn't mean our horses become sad because they're with us. They do respond, though, to the stimulus that we're putting out there, whether that be through facial expressions. There has been pieces done that they take that into account when they're understanding us as humans, or even our emotional or our physical state and what we're in. If we're thinking one thing and feeling another, that's what our horses are constantly responding to. But again, it doesn't mean that they feel the same emotion as us. It's that they're responding to the stimulus that we're putting out. And a horse can truly only think, act, and respond as a horse. So a lot of times, even in that video, we put some of our humanisms on our horses, and we just can't. They just don't think that way. So when we're listening, we have to think like a horse in order to properly listen to them as well. And sometimes it takes some digging to see what our horses are actually saying. We have a horse buddy.
Yes.
Buddy's been talking a lot to us, and we're trying to listen, but he speaks horse and we speak human. So we've tried so many things to figure out what's going on with him, had the vets out and everything. And the most recent vet visit, well, it finally comes up that he is sleep deprived because he has a horse with narcolepsy.
Can you believe it? Like, this shouldn't even surprise anyone, but these vets said it's the second one that they have heard in years. I'm like, oh, great. Okay. Well, so now we're working on that.
So you really do have to listen to search for the answer, not just listen in the moment, but listen as much as you can all the time so that we're getting to, I guess, the root of what is going on with our horses too.
You know, and in all reality, this is one thing to keep in mind as we're going to go through components of their body and how we know this and how we can listen better. But we brought these horses into our world. Then what happened was we decided that they have to be somewhat controlled and they have to do it our way, even though their brains didn't think that way. So that's like old way of training. No horse can come into your space. It's disrespectful. All those pieces that used to be. But now lots of us, because there's only two kinds of horse people. You're either like all of us who are just trying to gain and learn more. So it benefits our horses and benefits you, plus it benefits that relationship. Or there's the
crazy people.
Crazy people that no matter what you say or do, they ain't going to listen to you anyway. So it's okay.
Petra says, what?
I know.
We couldn't believe
surprising.
It. He kept on falling on his feet, but he was literally falling asleep because he was sleep deprived.
Yeah.
Because he has narcolepsy.
Any hoodle. So you don't know what you don't know until you do know. And then when you do know, then you are now accountable, you are responsible, and you have to be disciplined and going to this new level with your horse because it's so darn exciting. So the biggest reason why all of this began, even in our certification, is Carolyn wasn't with me at the time. She was in another city. And I'm doing this on my own with my two horses. And I started noticing how horses continually kept moving in on the humans I was working with and touching them in areas with their muzzle. Mm-hmm. And it felt right. That's all I have to say. It felt right. So I listened to these horses who wanted to speak to the humans that they were talking to. I didn't understand at the time, but all I thought is just be present, and the feeling was good. So if the feeling is good, I knew it has to be correct, even though I didn't understand. So it kind of all began with this beautiful adventure. And since we've been on this adventure, it has opened up like magnitudes of knowing our horses even more so. And it's truly from that listening. And listening is so huge, as we all are aware. If we're not listened to, how do we feel? Bad. We do. And
we shut down. We stop talking.
If you think about even, let's say you're grooming your horse, not tied. I always believe really listening to your horse, let them tell you where they're at and how they're feeling. So if they're untied, you have the ability to groom them. They come in to you, let's just say as an example, but what do? We push them away. So here's a beautiful, tender moment. I'm not talking coming in for a nip. We know the difference.
That's not beautiful or tender.
No, then you got to guard your boundary. But let them show you, do they want to walk away from you or do they want to stay with you? Anytime a horse wants to stay with you untied, you always know then that means we as humans are in the same thought and feel, because we got the two combos going on where horses are the most feeling of beings. So they feel, they react. That's how their brain is processing everything. They don't feel like a gut feeling and then take it to their brain and talk themselves out of it, because they have no ability to do such things. And we are going to be getting into that because we love the brain piece to the horse because it's evidence and it's dissected. And we understand there's huge differences between human brain and horse brain. So we as professionals aren't ever putting human stuff onto our horses, as in this horse is saying this or this horse is thinking that. We truly are going to their world to understand what it is.
And there's a lot of misconceptions out there as far as with their brain or even with their reactions of what things can mean or not mean, or numbers put to things like distances they can hear a heartbeat. There's lots of misconceptions out there, even the prefrontal cortex. The whole idea is that they don't have one. Well, they do.
Yeah.
It just doesn't function the same way as ours does. So they don't have that same decision-making piece or problem-solving piece that we do, but they still have that lobe of the brain. It's still there, just doesn't function the same way that ours does.
Absolutely. Now that you brought that up, I do have to tell you because, well, no, I'll tell you when it comes to this, but I'm going to write it down.
We all know if we don't write it down, it goes
Exactly. Okay. Hopefully I'll remember that note. Anywho, so here's one of the first things to kind of think about. When you are with your horse, and if your horse turns his head and looks over in that direction, you being the leader, because you are at that point, the leader with your horse, because you have to be, because being a leader is going to keep this horse safe. Listen by doing the same thing, take a glance over, just to say, oh, okay, whether you see anything or not. Because remember, they can hear and sense things way further away than us, but it's listening to say, my horse right now is wanting to go and listen to this way. Why? You don't have to figure it out. Just do the same thing. Come back, do a nice breath just to let him know that he now sees that you actually listened, because he wanted to go into listening in that way. So that's simple. Like it's
acknowledgement.
It's minute, but it's so important.
But it's like the active listening cycle version for horses, right? Like as humans, we repeat things back to show we're actually listening. But by showing that, yes, we're paying attention to, we're almost doing the same thing for our horses and acknowledging, oh, there could be something there. Let's check it out as the herd that we are.
Yeah. Like it's really important, and it seems so small, but it isn't. And even when you ask your horse a question, so let's just say you're with your horse and say, hey, bud, are you having a good day today? See what he does. Does he move his ear towards you? Does his eye soften? Does he breathe out? Like, what is it that he's trying to let you know? Because not that horses do not understand our words. And don't get me wrong, we have training to say or sounds that horses know, or whoa. We have those pieces because they hear it on a regular basis. But it's not that they're understanding all of this stuff that's happening inside our brain. Horses speak one language globally around the world through their body language, through their verbal sounds. So they have both body language and verbal, but it's mainly that silent communication. And through that clear body language, we as humans got a bazillion different languages and dialects that we're using. So it's not those pieces, it's through what's going on inside of our body that the horses are feeling through that stimulus, if we're congruent or if we're not congruent, if we're in conflict, which is a regular thing being a human.
An interesting thing to think of as well is to think in pictures for them. So if you have an intention that's strong and you're wanting an answer from them, like if it's as simple as how's your day, I don't know how I put that into a picture, but you think of it in a different way. We actually had a horse once, Disco, that we asked him what was wrong with another horse. And we were standing there with JR and had been trying to feel heat and all that stuff that you do. And so I had my hand on her and I looked at Disco and I said, Disco, can you tell me where she's hurting? He literally, I swear to you, I'm the skeptic.
Yeah.
I swear to you, walked up, took his muzzle and moved my hand to her shoulder, which we found out later on through going through vets and everything else like that. That was where she was in pain.
Yeah.
So had we not given him the opportunity to even answer us or help us out there, we wouldn't have got that answer.
No.
Yeah.
Like seriously, I think we could have listening part 1 to 100. Like every week we could have something different because it's going to be that exciting. Well, it already is exciting. So here's
my horse always nickers when he sees me, and I always answer with, I love you too.
Oh, I love that. Like, can you feel how congruent that piece is, right? I love that. So here's the first thing we need to understand is what it is that they're thinking, because their brain is designed differently than ours. So the number one thing that their brain thinks is what can kill me, what can harm me. So it's all in because they are that prey animal. So prey animal, completely different than predators. We're predators, dogs, cats, all predators. This is a prey animal. So of course, all these feeling pieces are going to be a part of it. Do they have a brain that works? Heck yes. Do we want our horses to use their brain? You bet your sweet peepees we do. So this is really important. We want them to feel safe enough to get to the curiosity piece, because that brain being alive and thinking is so lovely. Instead of, again, desensitizing everything, we definitely aren't wanting to do that.
I'm loving some of the comments too. Stacey's, I would love that, the nicker, I think. I get the neighs and snorts. So
Okay, Stacey.
It's funny. We had one horse that every time he would nicker and do this little
yeah.
And then now some of the other ones kind of have picked it up since they passed as well, which is lovely. I love that Jolene knew to ask me, Carolyn, will there be a recording of this? Yes. On Facebook that will show up as a live. I don't know how to pull a recording from this later yet, but I might know that in the future. And James says, one of mine pees every time I walk out in the morning, and I've heard it's her relaxing when she sees me.
You know, that's a release, so I can't see why not. See, there's so much more to learn. Like, it's so incredible. But Stacey, on day 3 of your certification online course, oh my gosh, you're going to be blown away with even understanding all these verbal pieces, what it means. So this could be really cool for you.
Nice.
So with understanding their thought is a true fear that they could die, that they could could be harmed. We as humans have many fears going on in our head. Like the risks, the fears of, do I have this? Do I have cancer? Fear of, do I have enough money to pay for this? Like, we're always having so many things going on in that fear area, but most are untrue. Like, our brains make up a lot of the fears that don't even exist, but not to a horse. So in understanding their main thing is, this is what they're thinking, because we work with horses to provide programs to help humans to build skills to move forward in their lives. This is paramount that we understand this thought, because we know this horse must feel safe at all times. So this helps our humans and us who are working with them to understand we must be present. We have to be present in order to be able to even move forward. And that's a huge parallel in life too, because if the horse feels safe, the human feels safe. And then we can learn from that. And same thing, when a horse feels safe, they can learn from that. They can't learn from that really old-fashioned way of doing many things. Those are how I say it.
They can remember it. It's, but it's not going to be the learning piece where they actually take and move forward from that piece as well. I think we said that little factoid last time.
I think so.
Yeah. So
I know. So their brain is designed as motor sensory. So motor sensory, and just so you know, for all the brain stuff that we have gotten new knowledge on is with Dr. Stephen Peters. He is one dude you want to look up and you want to get his book. He to me has been life-changing. And again, going to that dissection piece, he's a doctor, neurology of humans, and then neurology, horse brain. So it's not like we're making up anything. And I always love that.
A doctor neurology.
Neurology. You got
Doggone it.
So they're motor sensory. So their brain is they are meant to move forward in life. Forward. Isn't that cool? So if you kind of think about that, horses in the wild don't go backwards in life. Mm-hmm. But parallel, humans, we go backwards in life.
Yeah. And they're capable of going backwards, but they're not going to choose that direction.
No, like it's always to move forward. Yeah. Even in flight, you're going to move forward in whatever direction that is, because it's much faster than heading down the backwards area, right? Absolutely. And it's really cool too, because horses are meant to walk and eat and graze for 16 hours a day. I know in our domestic horses, it's just not possible. Not at everybody's property, but some properties you can. They yum, eat up, but never gorge, because they can never have a full stomach, because they need to always have the ability to get out of dodge and flight in case they're not feeling safe. Foundation, it's so funny because we always talk about foundation, their feet. And it's true, don't get me wrong, because it's the foundation is connecting to the earth. Absolutely.
No foot, no horse, they say.
No foot, no horse. That's right. But I got a little training horse. So I thought, it's been a long time since I worked with a really young one. And I thought this would be fun. So it's always interesting how you think it will be fun. And then you say, oh my, there's lots to learn. So as I'm doing this, and with all the knowledge that we have learned and gained, my brain was saying, quit working on the feet area. Then my brain said, oh my gosh, the foundation is their brain. So again, feeling that safe piece, understanding what it is that they're thinking. So then once I started getting into where I know I'm supposed to be, the foundation with their brain, oh my gosh, that changed the training around 100%, because I wasn't so focused on just that feet thing. Don't get us wrong. Feet and teeth. Number huge. 2 things, like huge. Yeah. The yawning. This is outrageously fantastic. Lots of times people think with a horse yawning, it's a release. And I guess it could be true enough to an extent. But when you know something different, I think this is where it's really exciting to bring in what you now know. So when a horse is, let's say, I don't know, you're working with him, you're doing your thing, and maybe there's been a stressor. It could even just be you walking into the arena. Mm-hmm. Again, if you're not present and you're floating out there, that's the fluffy area, right?
It could be anything. A noise outside. Something has stressed them.
Anything. So then we get them back to a safe place again. Then they really start understanding, okay, this is feeling good. One thing that you might see your horses do is start doing that yawning. When they're yawning, they're literally yawning, and they're going to their opioid system in their brain. And what does the opioid system do? It releases that beautiful endorphin or your dopamine, like to make them feel so good. So usually 3, 4, 5 yawns, and they're like,
maybe depends how stressed they were.
Life is great. So now when you see your horses yawning, it's just like, come back to them, because it's like they feel so darn good right now, and you will feel so darn good.
And if you're doing anything like we do in the equine assisted learning field, a lot of times people automatically take that as, oh, my horse is tired.
Yeah.
Right. But it really has nothing to do with that piece of being tired, because they don't function that way. Like we yawn when we need oxygen or whatever else. It really is for that stress release piece of things. And that helps to get the moisture in their mouth going as well.
So awesome. Saliva is huge. Just like another thing we had learned, and I hope this helps you too, because lots of times when we're teaching our horses something new, or let's say you're like us and you have a business working with horses and humans are working with them. So even when humans are they're learning something different, or the way something was done, they are now they're using their brain to process what has happened. Now, when they're processing, which is you're licking and chewing, again, grabbing all that saliva coming back into your mouth again, it feels so good. One thing, don't pat your horse, and don't let your clients pat your horse. Think of it when we're learning something new and it's kind of, oh, I'm getting this. It's making more logical sense to me. You don't want someone all over you touching you as you're doing it. But I know as horse people, we're always wanting to touch and pat the horses.
Good boy. Well, let them think.
Just let them have a moment to use their brain to think of what it is that they have just gone through or worked with some people, or even for yourself, maybe you're training or you're riding and doing something different, whatever the case may be. Allow them to just process everything that's happening.
You know, when you're trying to type something or you're figuring out a sentence or something and you've got it in your head and you're trying to get it out, and somebody starts talking to you at the same time, that's what I think of it like, because then you can't focus anymore on what you were trying to process through, because now you're focused on whatever other information and stimulus is coming in at you. So just don't be the overtalker, the backseat driver. Let them process.
You were interrupted, if you will.
That's right. Yes.
Okay. So the 4-foot thing, and then we're going to quickly just talk about the Vibreeza again. So I had asked Dr. Stephen Peters a question, because when we do our training for certification, we like factual, research, and evidential based pieces. We don't go for anything that's fluffy. So it was really bothering us that we couldn't find specifically the research piece on horses being able to hear your heartbeat 4 feet away. And you hear that on many Facebook, or social media platforms.
Lots of places.
So I messaged him and he messaged me back and he says, no, Carrie, there is no evidence and no research has ever been done on this. He goes, but through these social media platforms, there's a lot of fake pieces that go out there and then they go viral, but they are untrue. Like he said, there's nothing to back that up. Don't get us wrong though. Horse can still hear our heart beating, but we're in their vicinity. Even if we do that heart math, which we're going to get into, even 15 feet away with the heart electromagnetic field, those pieces have a research backing, but not where the horse can literally hear a predator that's 4 feet away.
And it makes sense, because you think about if it's a cougar versus a bear versus a moose versus a human, and the size of the hearts and how loud it would be very hard to put an actual numerical value to that, dependent on what heart they're even hearing in the first place. So makes sense.
I like what April is saying with the points in their mouth as well. That is beautiful. We learned that many, many years ago. You're talking where you put your hands in over the gum and the gum. That's super cool too. There's so many things we can help our horses to feel so good, and they just push right into it. Like they just love that.
That's where the idea of the twitch comes from.
Yes.
Those points right there as well.
Yeah. Because before I thought that is the meanest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Let me grab your lip.
Yeah. But now that I understand, see, you don't know what you don't know until you do know. And then when you do know, you got to spread it around and help people. So let's just quickly talk about the Vibreeza, because this is huge. And Dr. Stephen Peters talks always about this incredible Vibreeza. In North America, in Europe, it's illegal. I think it's coming to North America that will finally be illegal, that we don't shave their whiskers.
Yes. So Vibreeza are whiskers, and they're not just there to make them look pretty or cuteness. They are there for a specific purpose to help them figure out what things are. Is this hot? Is this cold? Is this edible? Is it not? So those are really, really essential for a horse to have, because it's a part of a sensory piece that allows them to understand what they should even be eating. So don't shave. Don't do it.
I remember judges, even in North America, they don't judge you on the Vibreeza. Like you keep the Vibreeza because for their mental well-being, they need those.
Yeah, they do.
Spacing and everything.
Stacy said too, mine pulled away as she wasn't ready yet. And I'm thinking that's with the mouth thing. There's going to be a few things that your horses have to get used to, even in being heard sometimes, that you can allow them to do that piece. But work on it a little, let them get used to it. Some love it more than others, but yeah, give them the shot to get ready. I like that, because sometimes they're not quite ready when you're all of a sudden jamming your hand in.
Ooh, I do have to tell you, because it just popped into my head. If you do join our newsletter, you get 3 incredible videos that you can't get anywhere else that help you to be with your horse that maybe you haven't heard of before. So we got a sweeping, we got a backup thing. It's really super cool. So if you do want to be on our newsletter, how will they do that?
If you're on Facebook, you can put newsletter in the comments. I don't know if I get to see the chat after this or to contact you. So you can go to our website, equineconnection.ca, the one that I put in the chat earlier. And on the very, very top, it says, would you like to join our newsletter? And you can fill out that form there to join, and you'll get those free videos.
Free 3 videos. You're going to absolutely love them, and it will change yours and your horse's life. That one I do promise too, because it's so neat. Okay, so then we've got the one last piece with the brain is the respect and disrespect. So here's the thing. Horses, yes, they respect each other. We respect each other. I can disrespect a human because my brain knows how to do that. A horse's brain doesn't, because that's an abstract thought. So disrespect, if you say, oh, that horse is so disrespectful. No, they're not. They have been allowed to continue to do what it is that they're doing, creating that piece to make us humans say the horse is disrespectful, but they can't, because their brain don't think that way, because it's an abstract thought. Yeah. Horses don't do that, even in the experience, because they have stacked memory just like we do. And we talked about that last week, but what do they learn that's different than us? This is huge, because theirs is all experiential, where ours isn't.
Yeah, that's all they can do is learn from what they've been through in life, because they don't, like we said, stand around the water cooler saying those coffee cups, they are going to fly out of nowhere. Puddles, they're only this deep, guys. Like, they don't have that piece. They have to experience it to know it. So they don't have that disrespect piece, even in their repertoire, to be able to pull that out. It's not like a kid talking back. It's them making sure that they feel safe in the way that they have to.
So that always brings us to, if you feel your horse is being disrespectful, because remember, this is human, what did we allow our horse to do that created that? Because he is just doing what he just knows to do. So now we have to go to a different place. Now we understand he can't think that way. How do we get him to that place, which will be from you, the leader, to keep him safe, but to help him understand? It's like when the barrel pushes into you. When that barrel is pushing into you, we're going to correct that piece, because I'm the leader right now. I'm going to push that barrel back out again, right?
I love what Laura said here. I could argue no animal is disrespectful. We are anthropomorphizing them too much and putting human behavior on them. Sing it, sister.
Sing it all the way, man, because that's
so
correct.
And that is so true. And we do it all the time, you know, not meaning any harm by it, but especially when we get in that disrespectful realm where then people do things that are yucky caca poo poo to horses.
Yeah.
And that really isn't helping anything.
Nope.
You've taught them nothing but to fear you.
Yep.
And that's not how I would want to be regarded to my horses.
No, exactamundos. Okay, so let's go into their actual body language. Like, oh my gosh.
I know.
We're not going to get through all of this.
But we have to do the picture ones.
Oh, let's do the picture one. Let's go to the dental piece.
We got to do the poll.
Oh my goodness.
I'm putting the poll up.
We just got so many things going on here. Okay.
I think it's this one.
Actually, okay, do the poll.
So I don't know if you guys can do this or see this on Facebook, but for anybody who's joined us on the Vimeo side of things, how long have you followed the Equine Connection? Has it been forever? Has it been a year or so, a few months? Are you brand spanking new to us? I don't even know how to tell if you're clicking it.
Yeah, me either. Maybe we'll see something.
Exciting.
It does look exciting. Oh, it's there too.
Yeah, so in Facebook, if you can't click it,
just say it.
Just comment it. Yeah.
Just say it. Is anybody clicking? Give us a yes, a no, happened? Maybe so.
This was going to be so exciting, but now we can't tell if it's happening or not.
See, new platform. We're too darn excited.
About a year. Okay, so some people are commenting since January.
Oh, I think they're pressing the button. They are, because the answers are yay. I like that.
Could not click. Obviously. Okay, then maybe we don't know how. Maybe it's not a clicker. Maybe it just gives you options on the screen. I clicked it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, this is interesting. Thank you for bearing with us.
Yeah.
Let's go to this bending for a second.
Okay.
Just because I was just talking about the barrel. This is huge stuff, and we might have to do a listening number 3, so we can go completely into the 3 energies, no pulling on a horse, and understanding that barrel piece. Because I know many of us understand this. We don't want to bend a horse at the neck. We want to bend so that their whole barrel. Now, I'm not sure who this fella is, but I want to give him credit because I thought how beautiful. You can see the beautiful round circular piece and how this horse is bending. And you can see when he's with that horse, the barrel is bending away from him. So I want to give you one more thing in listening to this. If a horse, and always watch your own horses. You know, I always say proof is in the pudding too. Don't just listen to our words, do it yourself so you can see. But so for example, as I'm working with my little Lola, who's my little baby training, if she pushes her barrel into me.
If I'm Lola like that and you're you, put up a little finger for you.
For me?
Yeah. So if we're like this and I'm bending this way.
That's right. Bending into me, what I will do is push on the girth so that she bends away from me, straight or bends away. Because a horse, always watch this, with other horses, their barrel pushing into another horse means I the boss.
Right.
So every time now I'm with, well, anybody's horses, even yours, if their barrel pushed out, I would definitely be pushing that girth back to let them know, little ones, I be the bossy. And of course that doesn't hurt. It just helps them. But getting back to this bending piece, you really want your horses bending at that barrel. So at that girth area, so their whole neck, this is the good stretch. These are the things that are so much healthier than bending just at the neck, because it's not really doing anything for them except making their neck flexible, I guess. And even then it wouldn't be, because their spine is so snaky like, and it's all connected. So that's enough of that, because we got to do the pictures. Because we were so excited to do the pictures.
So dental.
Okay, so let's get into the dental piece. You know, there's so many people in the world who own horses that have no idea. And this is why it's so imperative that we share this around. I didn't know either. Just like none of us, like until you know, you don't know, right? You
don't know what you don't know until you do.
So I always had my horse's teeth floated every single year. I'm thinking, hey, good horse person there. That's right, the fawns. But then I discovered differently, because with horses, and of course in our wild, how the horse's mouth, there works. There's their front teeth. They pick up the food through their front teeth. And of course, then they swoosh it from side to side, which to me is like the infinite symbol, okay, to help you to understand.
They have to fully emulsify their food to get the nutrients from it.
Exactly. So it can go down the one way, because horses cannot throw up, as we all know. So this is the way the horse's mouth is meant to work.
And it has to work that way because the food doesn't spend long enough in their gut for them to absorb all the nutrients from it if it isn't fully emulsified by the teeth lining up correctly in the first place.
Exactamundos.
Yes.
So by the time a horse reaches 5 years of age, they have their 5-inch teeth.
Let's show this.
Okay, at the back. Yeah, this is a good one. So they already have their teeth in their mouth. So that means after 5, they're not growing teeth anymore. But the teeth that are there, of course, they erupt.
Yeah.
As you know, you get older year to year, they do start coming up, but they're not growing.
They're already there. They just keep, as they kind of grind down, ideally, they keep moving up. So horses in the wild, they're eating the things that they need to, but horses in the wild also do not live as long as our domesticated horses, but they just keep erupting regardless of how much they're ground down or whatever else. And then you see here, there's a 25-year-old horse with his very little teeth left. They aren't growing anymore. That's what's left over from what was there when they were 5.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then we learned, of course, through having an equine dentist. Now, an equine dentist is a specialist in the mouth. They understand exactly how the mouth works. Now, again, with the floats, they are okay, but at the same time, a lot of here in Canada, our vets get 8 hours of schooling in their veterinary course. So you see, it doesn't make them a specialist in the teeth. They know the floats, but are they doing it the right way?
Yeah. And
are they making it hurt the horse or going against it? And not all vets, some vets might specialize more in the mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So when we discovered, kind of like us, if we had a bad knee, our family doctor, no good for us. Yeah. We need a specialist with the knee to make that knee feel better.
You don't go to the eye doctor for a knee problem.
No.
You need the part to get that 3-point piece in their mouth to fully get it leveled out properly.
So this dentist, all dentists, and it's funny, even our Canadian guys who have, or gals who have gone and got specialized in dentistry come to the USA for the schooling. Yeah. It's so bizarre how it works. But here in Canada, unless you have a vet in a majority of our provinces, you can't just use a specialized dentist. Like the vet has to come along. So there's only, I think, 4 provinces in Canada where these equine dentists can actually go to without having an actual vet with them. I mean, it's not a problem, but it's very expensive if you always have to have a vet and the dentist. So anyways, getting back to the story. So if we take a look this mouth here for a sec. So how this rolled is our dentist, he started working with this family, and this was a mare. So this beautiful mare, they had a breeding farm. They didn't know about the teeth like they should, just like a lot of us. Yeah. That's right. And I don't even know if they floated, because when you see the pictures, you're going to see. So of course they discovered a specialist. So they brought out Grant, who came and did their horse's teeth. But it was after this horse had died. So how this rolled was, this was a breeding farm. This mare only took every 2nd to 3rd year. Now, lots of times, like they said, they wouldn't have kept her, but she was just part of the family. They loved her, so they kept her always.
But now, they said that her behavior really changed, didn't it, at one point? Or is that not true?
Oh, a long time ago, for sure. So she was 15 years when she died. They buried this mare on their farm. Well, coyotes doing their thing, the skull came up. So of course, now they're working with this equine specialist, dentist, and they asked if he wanted it, but they bawled their face off when they discovered. So this is what we see. We look into our horse's mouth, we see the front of the teeth. Your vets come, they're checking their mouth out. Again, are they opening, making sure everything's A-okay? We hope so. So vets go to town with that one. So here is the front. Everything looks pretty normal, right? So I want you to see what this poor mare has lived through. So this would be years of this happening. So you see, her mouth was never looked at or checked. If you look on the right side, I don't know if you can see it on, but I can't point to it.
No.
Anyway, you will see that
furthest from us or closest to us picture.
Oh, okay. Okay. So, but you will see her jaw is literally broken. Like her teeth grew down into her, erupted. And of course, it actually broke her mouth. And take a look at the other side, how long those teeth were. Like, can you even imagine what this poor horse was going through in the pain she was experiencing? So one thing to always think of, if your horse has had a change in behavior, or if you go to touch, let's say, even the side of your horse's head and the head goes way up, get that specialist in, get your dentist in to take a look. Always check mouth. Like if your horse can't canter left, get their mouth checked. Because again, I was using floats and they were floating the wrong way. So it was being like, literally the dentist does the entire mouth from side to side, from front to back, like the whole, it's a 3.1 system that you're wanting to look at. But anything that's changing in your horse, always get that equine dentistry out, because man, does it make a difference. And a cool way to know, even just checking on a regular basis, if your horse has a headache. So we don't have that picture, unfortunately, but it's just above their eye. You know, they kind of have that little hollow, but there's that little soft spot above that area, kind of like a baby, you know, the back of their head, they got that soft spot. If you push that soft spot in, it will kind of pop, kind of like, those squeezy toys that
it'll make the bubble pop out of the hollow area.
Exactly. Yeah. It's super cool. But if the horse, like, no way can you touch there, immediately get a dentist involved, because something's going on inside of their mouth that your vet or someone else maybe hasn't been able to figure out, but maybe the specialist will be able to. Mm-hmm. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Is this huge for you guys?
You don't know what you don't know until you do.
No.
That one was a shocker, I think, too. Because you think you're doing the right things. That's the hardest part. Because a lot of times with our horses, we've tried to do our best. And we feel guilty sometimes for the things that we didn't know before. But that's why we have to keep learning and sharing information with each other and being open to information so that we can keep on helping others and their horses, too.
Wow, we yipped away, man.
Yeah.
Because we have to now let you go, because why? We have clients coming. They come every week. We work with men in addictions, and they're on their path of recovery. So they're learning the skills to be able to use those, to be able to move forward. So we have them come every week. So we're going to, I think, do a listening part 3.
We have to, yeah.
Because we didn't get through even all the body language pieces. There's so many more things we got to tell you about. Is everyone enjoying themselves so far?
We've got a couple of the mind blowns. Glenn said that. Sarah Lavoie said, "Holy jumping tuna fish on those teeth."
I love this.
Irina says, "Huge."
I love this.
Mine grind their teeth on a tree. So that's interesting. I would check that out too, just because if they're already trying to, they will do some, to some extent, what they can do for themselves. But that would be very cool to see how they are grinding their teeth down. Is there a place to rewatch this? I think it will be on our Facebook page after, under the live tab.
And yes, we do cover all of this in our course, and so much more. Like, we have one day's just specific. I mean, the whole course is dedicated with the horse and helping people, but the horse stuff is always throughout the course. And then, of course, then when we learn more, then we got to tell all of our facilitators about it, because it's like, oh my gosh, you just don't know what you don't know. But always watch your herd. Like, seriously, anything that you've even seen or heard or felt during this, go put it to the test and watch how your horses are actually listening to each other. Mm-hmm. Where are they touching each other on themselves? How are they making this one horse move from this place and they're like 10 feet away from each other? How did that horse know to go that way? Those are listening pieces. And when you're listening, by cracky, you're present, because you can't go anywhere else when you're like that.
The book that was mentioned earlier, I think that was Dr. Stephen Peters.
Dr. Stephen Peters. And I
can't remember the title off the top of my head.
I see it. Mm-hmm. But just put in Dr. Stephen Peters.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
It's a popular book. You'll find it.
Absolutely. Sure. Absolutely. Okay. So you can't unhear things. So now we are huge into understanding this piece. Yes. Equine dentist is so very important. So glad you enjoyed. If you are interested, again, for those who have been following us in the actual certification course as well, we have that subsidy piece that is rolling right now. And you can take a look at that on our website. Or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to either message us, call us, text us,
all of the
look
above.
up the email, all of those good things.
Penny says, plenty of useful information. Thank you. Looking forward to part 3 and 4, 5, 6.
You know what?
We could go on forever, I swear.
I think we are going to create it differently, though, because if we can take sections of the horse, I think it's easier for us to absorb those pieces. Yeah. Oh, and one more fun thing just before we leave. Horses don't get wrinkles. Us humans get wrinkles.
Unicorns.
Right? So it's really cool, because we always ask our clients too, how is our horse's eye today? And we know the different eyes, the whites, how our horse's eye is soft, sleepy. We know those things, but when there's wrinkles that are located above the eye, those are pieces we want to figure out in listening. Are they worried? Are they not feeling well? What's up with the wrinkles, right? So those are pieces, again, just listening, but really go out there with your herd. whatever especially a head one or your sentinel, not your sentinel. Is it your sentinel?
The watcher?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Your sentinel horse does. It's so cool. Like follow what they do. They're going to so appreciate you listening when you're grooming your horse. Let them just come in. Let them show you something that maybe you haven't thought of before. I know old cowboy way was nobody in space, but just for a minute, trust your horse and let him see what he's trying and has been trying to tell you, because there's some cool things.
And Leah and Jennifer both put in the book title for us. Thank you. Evidence-based horsemanship.
That's it.
Yeah, by Dr. Stephen Peters.
Good job. Good job, my friends.
Martin Black. Sorry.
Oh, that's correct. Amundos. Yeah, you got it.
So that's definitely a book to check out. If you're a research person, it helps a lot. It's very cool. And he does tons of YouTubes. And I was going to mention as well, we did a welfare series, and it's in our YouTube channel well. If you're just geared up and amped up for more info, we have loads in the welfare series that we did, and it's on our YouTube page.
I love that. And that's with Warwick Schiller, not
Doug
Chris
Walsh,
Irwin yet, Doug Walsh, Leah Dick. Oh my gosh. Elsa Sinclair. There's so many amazing people we have learned from. Mm-hmm. Laura, no, the sentinel horse does not have to mean it's the lead horse. Isn't that cool? I know you would think so, but every horse in the herd has a role. And sometimes, of course, even that sentinel, if the sentinel needs to lay down and take a good sleep, then that role is going to shift to another horse. So it really is quite cool.
The sentinel is the watcher.
Yeah.
Overlooks, is generally the one that lays down a little bit less and always keeps an eye out for what's going on.
It's so cool. But we can get into that too in another listening part something series.
Gosh, if we went into herd dynamics.
Oh my gosh. Like they're just way too much. We got to go, my friends, because we got to go get these, get the arena starting, get our pony pones in, because they're the teachers today. But it's been great fun.
Thank you so much for joining us. If you do have any questions, again, you can message us through Facebook, or I believe there's a way to get through us on this Vimeo one as well. And I love that somebody else said, check the poll tab. Well,
Thank you.
You guys must have that, because I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know where it lives, but we will figure it all out. But I think this worked really well.
It was lovely.
Clean, clear, no bumps in the road.
Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome.
Makes sense that the role would shift, right? They make so much sense.
Yep. Yeah.
But have a wonderful week. We will talk to you guys all very, very soon. And again, check out that Pay It Forward. And our website is www.equineconnection.ca. And you can check that out, comment on us, text the phone number, call the phone number, whatever you need to do. We're around.
And you're welcome, everyone. Make it happen. Go be with your horses. Show them you're listening.
Bye, everybody.